Hi guys, welcome to my first episode. I hope everyone is as excited as I am. This is something I've been wanting to do for quite a long time, and to have it off the ground is just so exciting. So our first dish today is going to be chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. And there's a story behind that, so everyone just hold on and we'll get into that. We also have a couple of topics to dish out today. So without further ado, I'm Adriana Murphy, your All-American Girl, and today we're cooking with politics. All right, guys, so as I said, I do have a special guest on the show, Aubrey Savela. Welcome, Aubrey.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here. Aubrey is one of the best reps that I know that does a lot of core activist work. She not only door knocks, registers voters, gets PC signups, she does so much more than that, and she works for Turning Point Action, which is an amazing organization that is, getting us ready for 2024. So she's going to talk a little more about that. Aubrey, would you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
My name is Aubrey Savela, and I'm one of the field representatives at Turning Point Action. So what that means is that I go out into the community, and I'm very hands-on, talking to the grassroots, helping them get more involved, helping young people like myself figure out kind of more about the Republican Party, what we are, what we do, and how we can win big in 2024 and make sure that we get the correct candidates elected, especially within local elections.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So she is the moment. That's what I'm hearing.
That's me.
How much do you love chicken nuggets?
I love chicken nuggets. They're probably my favorite food, like my all-time favorite food.
So, because I did mention in the beginning of this episode, there was a reason why we were cooking chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. It is Aubrey's favorite. So, in order to please her and just make her feel more comfortable,
I'm so excited.
We're going to try to make her favorite meal from scratch, which
I also don't cook very often. So
she doesn't cook. So this is
exciting.
This is real.
Exciting.
This is live. This is real, and we will see how this goes. There's a few things you're going to want. You're going to want your air fryer out, an oven-safe pan, a stovetop pot, another stovetop pot, and 3 mixing bowls. Our ingredients for the chicken nuggets is ground chicken, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne powder, flour, baking soda, and 2 large eggs. And then for our mac and cheese, we are going to go with elbow pasta, which is so fun. Butter, crushed garlic, flour, heavy cream. You want different cheeses. You can do cheddar jack, or you can do, you can really do what you want. And then we are going to also want garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, pepper, salt, and parsley to garnish. So let's start with our chicken nuggets. Aubrey, can you grab our chicken nuggets?
Yes.
On the side, Aubrey and me were trying to de-thaw this chicken as fast as we could.
It's a blob.
It's a blob. So what you guys really want is ground chicken. And you want clean hands because this is very hands-on for this meal. You are going to want to take your spices, so the salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and cayenne, and mix it in a bowl. We are going to make chicken nugget size. So Aubrey, go ahead, hands in. Let's get into this.
Yummy.
Squeeze out any excess water if you can on here. Try to form, I don't know,
chicken nuggets are any kind of shape you want.
Any kind of shape, that's right. And then we have our seasoning right here, and we also have a pan with just some tin foil. Because this is not going in the oven. No, this is going in the air fryer, but first we have to freeze it. So let's make our forms, and then here's the ingredients. Yeah, or you could just dash it however you want.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's talk about your backstory, Aubrey. I want to know what got you started into politics, because you are 20, if I'm right.
I just turned 20.
She just turned 20. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
How many 20-year-olds are involved with a big organization like Turning Point Action? So I'm just curious how you got started and what took you where you are now.
So growing up, I was never very political at all. My family was not very political, but I can vividly remember I was in first grade when I went to the Obama-Mitt Romney watch party.
Stop. You remember that?
Yes, that's the only thing that ever political from my like growing up that I can remember. And it was at my godmother's house. And we were all voting for, like, we're all there for Mitt Romney because, and I guess that was like,
candidate.
yeah. And I remember a few days earlier, I was hanging out with one of my friends. I was in first grade, and our moms were best friends. And he goes, "Are you voting for Obama?" And I was like, "No." My mom told me we don't like Obama. That's all I knew. And then I never really had questions about politics. And then in high school, I started to get a little bit more political in 2020, specifically when my dad had just gone back from a deployment from Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Oh my goodness,
and
really?
Yeah, and that was when like all of like the kneeling stuff and all of the trendy whatever the liberals were doing at the time.
The Kaepernick.
Yeah. And so I had a bunch of friends that would like sit during the Pledge of Allegiance, and I remember I looked at them and I go, "Stand up right now." And they were like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Stand up, like, why are you sitting?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Because I sit for the flag, like America." And they were like going off, and I said, "My dad was deployed for a year. For you to be sitting? I don't think so." And so I made all of these kids come over to my house one day, and I made a PowerPoint about the importance of standing for the flag. And then I was like, "Wow, maybe I am Republican."
Wow.
I was like, "Wow." And I guess that really I was because I was raised to be a conservative with conservative Christian values, and I realized like that's who I am. And if I see kids not respecting that, I was always taught to kind of like stick up and say something to them. And so that's what I did, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is kind of fun." Like, yeah. And then how did I get involved? Oh, and then when I went to college, there was nothing going on, and my friend, my roommate, she was like, "Hey, let's go to a Charlie Kirk thing." And I was like, "Who's that?"
Who's
Charlie like, Kirk? "You're gonna love him. Let's go." So he was at our college campus. So we went and we watched him, and we just saw him, and I was like, "Wow, this is like really cool." And we had his photo hanging up in our apartment for like, I think probably all semester.
Stop, really?
Yes. And then I was scrolling on Instagram, and one of my longtime friends that I have known, she just posted a photo of Carrie Lake, and I was like, "That looks like a fun place to be. Like, I think I want to be where they are." And so I messaged her, and I was like, "Where are you? What are you doing? Because I want to go to that." And she was just like, "I'll send you the details." And so I applied to be an intern, and then I got involved.
Wow. So that was stories within stories, but I love that. That was so unique. Honestly, you know, hearing about that, it just reminds me of how our generation is led to believe that you should just be quiet and carry on and just don't disrespect because you don't have the right, because you're white and you're a bigot and you're a Christian. Oh my God.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's very bad.
I'll tell you a whole story about that.
Yeah. So we just created our own nugget shapes and some seasoning in them. Now, again, we're going to leave this in our freezer for about 20 minutes. So guys, we are going to come back. We're going to have things prepped and ready, and we are going to continue into our mac and cheese. All right.
Well, see you in 20.
All right, guys. So we are back. Our chicken nuggets are still in the freezer, just getting a little icy cold so that they can mix well in the batter. So we have prepped our mac and cheese. You guys are going to want to preheat your oven to 425. Also, let's start on our mac and cheese. Also have your air fryer preheated as well.
It's al dente. When you bite into it, it should be white.
Really?
Pro tip.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Pro tip. See how it's a little bit white?
Oh my God, genius.
Pro tip.
She's just eating raw pasta, like,
so
she doesn't care, which is fine. So then we are gonna strain and pour our pasta into our oven-safe pan. Pour the mac and cheese in there if you wanna do that. While Aubrey's doing that, on a side pan, you are going to take a couple slices of butter and take your chopped garlic, and we are gonna let that saute in the side pan. Nice. And then just kind of even that out. Perfect. So you just applied to Turning Point Action.
Yes. Well, no, I was at so I worked on the Carrie Lake campaign for governor. She ran for governor in Arizona. And after her campaign ended, I went to Turning Point Action, and I was able to use some of my political skills I learned on the campaign at Turning Point Action, which is kind of what I do now. So on the campaign, I worked as a field organizer, which meant I Knocked a lot of doors, helped a lot of candidates get elected.
Yeah.
Specifically, like local candidates. I knocked doors for Carrie, big other candidates running.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also ran for Moms for Carrie Coalition, which was a great way just to get moms involved, because I don't think people realize, like, moms are some of the most influential people.
Yeah.
But also, like, once they have a group of people that they're going with, it's just women in general, they're going and they're like invincible.
So you basically created, or you like helped create a base for Carrie Lake, and that led to better skills for your job at TPA. So question, you don't have to get into depth on this, but I would like to know, I feel like everyone would like to know, I'm hearing news that Turning Point Action has launched their coalition. So what does that mean?
Okay, so at Turning Point Action, we launched 7 new coalitions. I believe it's 7. And so that is just, coalitions are essentially a group of people that you have similar interests in, and that you can really just go and get to know other people who have the same interests and are like-minded. And create a sense of community. And so one thing that we did launch was our Women's Moms Coalition. We also launched a Healthcare Workers Coalition, Ranchers and Farmers Coalition, our Teachers Coalition.
Wow.
And our Faith Coalition, and then a few other ones that are coming, and then we have more coming up. And so one that I'm really passionate about is our Women and Moms Coalition, as well as our Educators Coalition. I don't know if you knew this, but I used to be a preschool teacher for
really?
Volunteer. Yes.
Wow. Yes. So she already worked on someone's campaign, and then she was a little Miss Teacher. That is fantastic. Yes. And she's 20. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about schools and education and just kind of that. And so if you want to join our coalitions, you definitely should.
Okay.
Visit turningpointaction.com/coalitions, and you can find more information and sign up. And we've already had a few of our women's meetups coalition, and we have some really great women that are getting involved in that. So
cool.
It's just a great way to get involved. Because we've seen in campaigns that have coalitions, the coalition just kind of dies off after the candidate. And so we just wanted to create something that would have longevity and really last and be able to work nationwide.
Nice. That sounds like a plan. We're going to get back to this conversation with coalitions. Right now, our butter and our garlic is turning kind of golden brown, so it's the perfect opportunity to whisk in some flour. Oh, so Aubrey, flour is right in front of you. I'm going to move our mac to the side.
How much flour should I add?
So it says 2.5 teaspoons of flour, so you just kind of want to sprinkle in your hand and then cover the whole bottom of the plate. By the way, you guys will learn that I don't believe in measurements because...
And I don't know how to cook.
Unless we're baking, then yes, I believe in measurements. But when it comes to cooking, I'm more lenient. Yeah, you're going to quote it a little more. You want the whole pan to be covered. Perfect. So Aubrey is just sprinkling on the flour.
And we're going to like that salt meme. That's like...
with the guy in the glasses. She is going to continue to coat this, and we are going to let this cook until it's like a pale golden color. So like I said, we are just going to let this simmer just for a bit to get to this pale golden color. Next, we are going to add 1/2 cup of heavy cream and let this simmer until thick. Right now this is on medium heat, so I'm just going to turn it down to near low because I'd like to see this color change. So Aubrey, as you were saying, the coalitions, so it sounds like Turning Point Action has created a tons of bases for everyone to get involved with.
Yes.
So is it just going to stop at those?
No.
Do we know?
There's going to be more. Okay. So I've heard, and there's going to be some, because we want to hit every single target and every single group of people that we possibly can. Because we know the importance of getting everybody involved. And if you have somebody that, you'll have some common interest in, it's a lot easier to be like, I'm going to go hang out with that person because I can, it's a lot more comfortable.
Wow.
Talk to them about some things, similar interests. And we also have some other exciting things that we're doing. We're going to have some big plans for 2024 coming up.
2024, we're trying to save our country.
Yeah.
Definitely. Red wave.
Is the year to save our country.
Definitely. Okay, so right now we are just going to add 1/2 cup of heavy cream and let simmer until thick. So if you want to do the honors,
okay.
Aubrey is our guest, so she gets to. So half a cup, we're going to go ahead and pour. Keep pouring. Keep pouring. Okay, stop. And then we are just going to let this simmer for until thick. Is for this to mix well together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you've ever added cornstarch to soups or anything. It kind of gets thicker. Yes. And so what I've heard is that Turning Point Action is creating these coalitions, which is super great to talk about. And it sounds like people are getting involved in that way.
Yeah.
So, you know, what is the importance of getting involved? Because it seems like our country is kind of like dark right now, due to the, you know, let's not lie, but the fraudulent, you know, left.
The fraudulent election.
Fraudulent elections, and the people that.
The people running the country right now are not making the best decisions.
Yeah.
Economically, like, and all around.
Yeah.
And this
adds
it's
some more
embarrassing.
heavy cream.
So I think right now it's like really people are looking at the country and they're like, I need to get involved, because they're seeing, one, I think a lot of people, especially parents, are being like, why is my kid coming home and showing me this paper that says they want to be X, Y, and Z? And it's just like, you know, and I think, or it's like, why is my kid learning about this in school? And so that's how we're getting the parents involved, is because we're seeing these parents wake up and they're seeing the importance of running on the school board. And I think a lot of people are realizing that these local elections and getting involved locally has a lot bigger impact and a lot of importance to be involved in that and kind of make your voice known. So like attending school board meetings, running for school board, because before I feel like Republicans were slacking in that area.
Yeah.
And the left got a little bit ahead of us, and now we're kind of being like, we're seeing the consequences of that. And so we're getting back in the race, and we're going to win. We're going to win big in 2024. So
nice. That sounds like a plan. Guys, I know I'm off camera right now. I am just adding butter to our pasta. Make sure you guys add about 3 to 4 slabs of butter. Aubrey right now is making a great, look how thick that is now. Doesn't it look a lot better? Okay, so Aubrey, here's the fun part. Aubrey is going to start adding in our cheeses.
Wow.
The recipe calls for about half a cup of each cheese. So let's just do a handful and we'll do it together. Okay. This is what the...
I'm going off camera.
Oh, no. Cheese in this pan. Oh. And we mix it. No, she's actually just eating the pasta. She went off camera to just eat the pasta. But this kind of looks like gravy, guys. So let's taste it. Oh, kind of tastes like a plain gravy.
Honestly, tastes like gravy.
Right. So we're just gonna add in a couple of handfuls of our cheese here. You want to do like a half pinch. And what we want is you know what? I'll stir and you can just.
And I'll just sprinkle cheese.
Yeah, just one more handful of that and then one more of the other one. So we are going to. Oh, we are going to just let this melt in the pan, and then we'll set aside the rest of the cheese. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. And then let's stir it. So guys, this is what it's looking right now. We are kind of just stirring it, making it nice and gooey. This is looking great, by the way. You have some, just taste testing the cheese.
I have to make sure it's not poisonous. No poison ivy.
So Aubrey, so obviously we've heard your backstory. If you want to add a cup, like maybe one more handful of each.
Yeah.
So we're hearing a lot about your backstory and why you're getting involved. I think it's very important that people hear from someone's perspective of Gen Z. Yeah. Because the generations above us obviously have had time to get involved, but what is the call to action to our generation? Aubrey, I believe you mentioned like coming home from school and like parents are recognizing that times are changing in school systems, and your kid, you can't trust your school to teach your kid because they're not teaching them algebra, they're not teaching them math, they're not teaching them history, they're teaching them woke ideologies, CRT, and that it's okay for your child to be a unicorn.
And I think also parents have realized too, just sending your kid to private school too is a great option if you can afford it, obviously. Yeah. But it's expensive, and private school and charter schools are costly. And also this is, I don't think people are aware of this, and some people are, but if any private school or charter school receives any form of money from the government at all, in the slightest amount, even like $1, they have to implement one of the things
what they want,
what that the government wants them to teach. And so no matter if you're sending your kid to a $10,000 a year private school, if they're getting government funding at that school in any slight way, you still have to teach them of the ideology that is being pushed.
Yeah, so what they want. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, that makes sense. Obviously, we were in school 2 to 3 years ago, and I think it was just beginning to be very, very pushed in our our school agendas and our criterias and the topics that we talked about. I remember my last year suddenly, like once a week, it might have been like Wednesday mornings or Monday mornings, and the side conversations would be of bullying for 20 minutes. Like it would be first period every time. And our teachers would have to, before they were teaching us, talk about conversations of bullying or of little things like that. But now it's been extreme. So like my hometown school, they're teaching about
from California.
I am from California.
She's from the great state of California.
I'm exposed as a Californian, and it's way worse there. But it sounds like parents are definitely waking up and doing something, because you know what? They have one more chance to wake up and do something. And like Aubrey said, private school is very expensive.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to have to pay for your child to go to private school, then you need to stand up, go to your school board meetings.
It's important. And I think even parents that are in private schools, why did you leave the public school system, and why are you still left? They can still go to the school board meeting. Like, I left the school for this reason. And they should make that known. Just because you're removing yourself
Do you want to mix this? Yeah.
from the problem does not mean you should stop fighting to solve it.
Yeah, to avoid it and hope that someone else picks up the
because
pieces.
It's only going to get worse, and it's going to come into private schools. That sounds scary, but
and no, it will.
It will.
Because if they get government funding, it will. Definitely.
Yes.
We have our spices on the side with our garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, pepper, salt, and we've mixed it into here. And we are sprinkling that into our cheese. It's like a fondue. It's like kind of fun,
It
isn't
looks
it?
fairly yummy.
And we are just, tag teaming this. Takes two to do a job around here.
Yeah.
And then we will move to our actual macaroni. Then just do the last and try to fold that. It's looking great, honestly. I'm very happy with where we are with this recipe.
Yeah, we're actually doing great.
All right, so that's a pretty good mix. So now we are going to pour this into our pasta. So I'm going to make some room for our pasta over here, and make sure, again, you guys have your butter already coated. Yeah, go for it. So, ooh, it's fun fondue. And so now we are just going to mix our macaroni and then top it with the cheeses.
Oh.
We are making a mess, but that's okay. Life is messy. Politics is messy, right?
It's only fun if you make a mess. I know so many liberals, and I just talked to them. I actually was at Bunko last week with my mom.
Yeah.
And I was talking to this lady, and I was like, it was on Thursday, so it was a big day.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knew about last Thursday, but Trump got indicted in Georgia.
Oh, we remember.
Yeah, in case you forgot. And I was talking to this lady, and I was like, showing everybody, I was like, look at Trump's mugshot. Because I was like, it was in the moment, and I was so excited. I was like, and everybody there is, I've actually signed somebody there up to be a PC at Bunko. But I was talking to this lady, and she was on the left side of the rendezvous. And she was like, he deserves everything that happened to him. And I was like, huh? And I was like, really? Like, that's what you think? And I was like, when's the last time that you've had a president that was so family oriented and that was so economy was booming the way it was when he was president? And I said, have you ever seen a president get treated like this poorly? And I was like, how would you feel if Joe Biden got indicted and they were treating him like this? And she goes, well, he would never do that. And I said, why is it okay for Trump? And by the end of our conversation, she was like, had my phone number, and she's like, I actually feel really bad for Trump getting indicted.
Good. Okay, so we just add a whole lot of cheese on here. So this, cheese expands. So this is going to be very cheesy. You're just going to add the remaining of your cheese. Obviously, me and Aubrey don't believe in measurements. So this is what our mac and cheese looks like. You can tell we have a nice little blanket of different cheeses on here. So what we're going to do, this is the fun part, we are going to bake for 10 to 15 minutes.
Ooh.
You guys want to make sure that it is nice and golden and crispy, but then you are going to change your setting on your oven to broil. And you're going to do that for 3 to 5 minutes. That's when the crispiness should be ready. So we're going to put this in the oven, come back to where we're at with our chicken nuggets, get started on our chicken nuggets, and we'll meet you guys there, okay? All right, guys, so we're back. We have our chicken nuggets. Obviously, these are out of the freezer. You can tell they're frozen. I can feel the middle is hard.
Oh, these are froze.
It's kind of like, you know how like when you have freezer Tyson chicken nuggets, like they're frozen.
Yeah.
So this is what you kind of want to do. We're on the right track. On the side, so what we have is our flour. You don't need measurements for this. Just fill halfway of the bowl. And then we put the exact same spices that we did for our mac and cheese in here and mixed them together. And we have our 2 eggs. We might need 1 more egg, but we'll see where this goes. Basically, we're going to take this, dip it in an egg, flip it in here, and put it in our air fryer.
Yay! Okay, do you want to crack an egg? I'll crack an egg.
Yeah. Okay, let me put this there. Okay. So, yeah, you want to do that bowl. All right, so Aubrey, what I want to know is obviously your company is here in Phoenix. We are in the Phoenix area. Arizona has such a big movement that needs to be even more involved. I want to know, what area in Arizona do you work in? What area in Phoenix do you work in?
So I work in the Tempe, which is college town. ASU's in Tempe.
That's true. A lot of young people.
Yes. So I buy a lot of young people. I also do some work in the Chandler and Scottsdale area. So I'm kind of all over like the main outskirts of Phoenix, as well as not really dead center Phoenix, but more of the outskirts of Phoenix in the suburbs, getting those college kids and those suburban people involved.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Well, thank you. So you're going to whisk your eggs, by the way. And I mean, we're just going to go for it. It's going to be messy. Hands are going to be messy.
We're going to do it.
Ready for that. And just flip. Kind of do a nice sprinkle. Okay. And we'll just put it back on the pan and then put it in there. Nice. So Tempe area, and then you do a little of the outside area. So
yeah.
When you do some activism work, can you give us some examples of what your week kind of looks like?
Yes. So every week I go to I try to go to 4 to 5 events. Sometimes some weeks are slower than others. Like this week is kind of a dead week in politics. There's not much going on, but I typically I find local events that I can go to. So I attend LD meetings and make sure like I go with new PCs that I've recruited and make sure they're comfortable in their legislative district, their LD. And I also go to luncheons with like women and their club luncheons. And I set up a table at those. Sometimes I'll speak about things that Turning Point Action has coming up that we're doing.
Wow. So you are the face of Turning Point Action's field team when you're out at these events.
Yes. So when I am out there, I am representing Turning Point Action.
Which
actually, I'm literally representing them. I am there on behalf of Turning Point Action at these events. So
wow. So people look up to you and they're looking to you for answers.
Yes. Sometimes it's scary when I don't know the answer and I'm like, oh, I have to go back to my team and ask. But it's really rewarding to just kind of see people that I've recruited and then see them get involved and kind of see the difference that they're making in their community. I think that's one of the most rewarding parts about what I'm able to do with my job and being out and actually being in the activism part of politics.
I mean, not everyone knows everything about politics. I don't know everything about politics. It's all a learning game. It's reteaching yourself history and how our government works.
And you learn something new every day. Politics is constantly changing.
Constantly changing. And there's always different topics and, what you really care about going on in politics. So that is fantastic. So Aubrey is finishing up one more chicken nugget. Yeah, just our lonesome. Our alien hand. It looks. Yeah, I feel like I have double fingers right now. 3 fingers right this whole time. I used my whole hand. I did not. We told you we were gonna get messy. Let me just wash off my hand real quick. So that's very, very interesting that you have to, you know, show up to these meetings and, you know, what have you, and kind of represent more than Turning Point Action. You're representing not only your generation, but these topics.
Yes.
What kind of topics do you get into that, you know, people ask you that are kind of common? Like, what are people asking you? Do they know what a PC is? Do they know what an LD is?
Yes. So it depends kind of what level of activism we're looking at. So when somebody's fresh in politics, I'll be like, so what do you know about politics? What inspired you to get involved? And I'll try to kind of get to know them a little bit and see kind of what would best fit them in their life and what would be the best way for them to get involved. Because sometimes being a PC is a great way to be involved, but it's not always the best way to be involved. And so sometimes it might be better to get involved with another group first and then become a PC.
Okay.
That way, so like if I'm meeting with a young person, for example, I'll always highly encourage them to get involved with young Republicans. That way when they go to these LD meetings, they're going with fellow young Republicans that are also
and they have connections
and they'll have friends.
Yeah.
And so I kind of do it that way, but I always get them involved some way, somehow.
Okay, nice. So, guys, we are laying out our chicken nuggets into our air fryer kind of pan. Aubrey, you're going to do the honors and spray some olive oil on one side, and then we are going to let this sit for half the time. Go ahead. Just do like a nice...
On one side?
Yeah, because we don't have to flip them until it's past 6.
Oh.
Is it going? There we go. Perfect. Perfect. So now that we have a little bit of olive oil to make it extra crispy, we're going to put this in for about 16 minutes.
And there's 1 minute left on our mac and cheese. So we have to switch it to broil. You said 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes, but we'll see where it is crispy. And so again, we have another mess, which is so fun.
So we're going to get cleaning.
We're going to get cleaning. And then we are going to flip these halfway through and give some olive oil. You know, life is messy, politics is messy, but we're here to clean it up. Aren't we, Aubrey?
We're going to clean it up one way or another.
One way or another. So after our chicken nuggets is done, we will get back to our mac and cheese and check on that. So guys, we'll be right back. Hopefully we'll have our chicken nuggets, our mac and cheese, finish our conversation with lovely Aubrey, and get back to it. All right, guys.
See you soon.
All right, guys, so our macaroni and cheese is done. Our chicken nuggets are done. Aubrey is holding up our mac and cheese. This is what it looks like. It came out so great. It has such a great crisp and a great golden brown tint. Obviously, the broil really works, so make sure you guys put on that setting. And then our chicken nuggets could have been a little crispier. You just have to leave them in longer with more oil on them, or you can like rebatter them, however you want to do it. So, Aubrey, before we dig in, where can people find you? And because obviously Aubrey is a great catch, and if you guys are in the Phoenix area and you want her to come talk about Turning Point Action or specific things are going on with Turning Point Action,
or just be my friend, hang out with me,
where can they contact you?
The best way to contact me would be to contact me on my email, and my email is my name, which is Aubrey, Aubrey, Savela, save LA is how you spell that, at tpaaction.com.
Okay, awesome.
Or follow me on Instagram, Aubrey Savela. I'll follow you back.
Definitely use Aubrey as a resource to come talk about Turning Point Action. Sounds like they're doing a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. I'm gonna try our mac and cheese. It smells so good.
I'm excited.
Oh, it has
the
such a great
crisp. Cheese.
It has such a great crisp. It's so good. Not bad. Would you bring this to a potluck?
Yeah.
You could make it more gooier if you wanted. You would just have to, that sauce with the flour and garlic and butter, you just have to continue to add more heavy cream. But I feel like this is okay.
This is good.
And then, let's try our chicken nuggets. Oh, it's hot.
Is that a little spice? Oh! I just threw mine in the ranch.
It's good. It's not bad. It's good. Like I said, you could just leave them in there if you wanted them crispier, but they taste like a better chicken nugget, honestly. So, really, really good. Thank you, Aubrey. I just wanted to say thank you for coming on here.
These are so good. These chicken nuggets are actually so good.
Thank you, Aubrey, for coming on the show. So if you guys want to see Aubrey again to talk about different issues that's going on with Turning Point Action, please comment below, like, comment, and subscribe. I don't have any more thoughts. Aubrey, next time we talked about her coming and talking about more specific coalitions. So if you guys want to hear that, that would be awesome.
Or just see me again.
Yeah. Or just see her again and we'll make another fun recipe. If you guys want to see us try other recipes or talk about different topics, comment. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for joining us. God bless you. God bless America. I'm Adriana Murphy, and this is Cooking with Politics. See you guys next time. Thank you.